Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our IP class. In the previous class, we studied about iteration statements, that means for and while. Iteration statements, which is also known as looping statements. By using this iteration statement, we can continuously perform similar tasks again and again up to some condition met. There are two types of iteration statements in Python. They are while and for. We already discussed, we can revise. While means in while we have to specify an initial value for a variable. In this example, it is x equal to y. And inside while, inside bracket, there will be some condition and some colon will be there. After that, in next line, some indentation will be there. If this condition is true, this loop will repeat. Up to that moment, the condition became false. So we have to use increment or decrement operation inside while. Regarding for loop, initialization, that means assigning value in the beginning, and increment or decrement operation is automatically done by range function. For example, here the value of I equal to, in initial case it will be 3. I in range 3 comma 5 means initial value of I will be 3, then print I will give 3 as output. Again this loop repeat. The value of I is automatically incremented to 4. Then print I, that means 4 is printed. Again the value is incremented to 5. Then condition become false. So up to this value, last value will be omit. But up to this value for loop repeat. So this is for loop statement, comparatively while statement, syntax and minimum number of lines needed in for loop. These are for and while loop. This is an example for program for loop which contains three values. That means 5 comma 3 comma minus 1 means its output will be from 5 to 3. That means 5 and 4. This minus 1 is decrement operation is performed when we are doing three values in range function. Then this third value determine the step size. Step size means if it is 2, then 2 increments takes place. If it is 3, then 3 increment, the value is incremented by 3. If it is minus 1, then minus 1 operation will takes place. So we can use range function single parameter. If we are using single parameter, then automatically the value will be starts from 0 up to, suppose it is in range function, if we are using 5, then for I in range 5 means 0 1 2 3 4, that will be the output. Then we can use else statement with 4. Then next is iteration statements. In iteration statements, we can use some jump statements. Jump statements, or it is known as loop control structure. That means instead of executing all the situations, we can omit some situation based on some conditions. There are mainly two types. Here it is specified three types. So first is break statement. As the name implies, break means it is used to terminate the loop. For example, in this example, val in string. If this value equal to I, then it will break. Break means it will exit from the loop. So it will not repeat the loop again and again. When the value becomes I, it will exit from the loop. Next is continue. Continue means only one statement with the given condition is omitted. Remaining statements will continue. Let's look at an example, then we will get an idea. So in break statement, complete termination from the loop takes place. But in continue statement, if one point reaches, that statement only is skipped. Remaining statements will work. When we are doing example, you will know about it. Next is past statement. Past statement means we can pass from one statement to another by using pass statement. For example, if our condition is true, pass. Pass means it is pass from the given loop. So it is pass statement. In this case, I in initial, that means the first value. If I equal to I, that means this I equal to first value, that means I, then pass. Pass means if I equal to I, it is passed. Again it will repeat the loop, and next the value of I, it becomes n. So I equal to n, condition fails, then else statement will work. So only in the case of I, the statement pass. So continue and pass works in the same manner, but continue forces the loop to start at the next iteration, while pass means there is no code to execute here and will continue through the remainder or the loop body. So that is the difference between continue and pass. Let's look some example based on these for, break, pass, etc. Some example based on this. So this is a for loop program. Let's run this program. That means for I in range of 6. Then print I. Let's run this program. Then in this output there is some mistake. This is a for loop. For I in range 5 means initial value of I will be 0 up to 5. That means for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are printed. Let's look. If you are running this module, what happened? The output will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because from 0 to 4 is printed here, range function is 5. What happened if we are writing as 1, 5? Let's look. If you are running this, first we have to say, if you are running this, output will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because initial value of I will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. When the value of I becomes 5, it will omit from the loop. This is 2 parameters. And when we are using 3 values, 1, 5, 2, what happens? When we are running this program, the output will be 1 and 3 only, because first 1 is printed, then it is incremented 2 times, because here increment 2 steps are specified. So new value of I becomes 3, so 3 is printed. Again it is incremented to 5, but 5 will not print because it reaches our limit. So this is for loop. Then let's look our break and continue statement. Let's look at an example which will print, suppose it will print 10 values from 0 to 9. If 10 values are printed, first we can run this program. Then what will be the output? Up to 0 to 9. This will be the output up to 0 to 9. The values will be printed. Then if we are using break, what happened? Here we can give a condition like if value of I equal to 5. Double equal to is used because it is used for conditional checking. So we are using double equal to. So in this case I written as when the value of I becomes 5, we have to break from the program. So what happens? Let's look the output. We have to save every time. Let's look the output. What happened? It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the previous output. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What happened? First value of I becomes 0. Then condition is checked. If I equal to 5, is 0 equal to 5? It is false. So print, this will not work. Print I will work. So when we are printing, what happened? The output is printed as 0. Then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Then if he reaches the value of I equal to 5, what happens? Break is used. Break means it will break from the loop. So up to 4 only the value is printed, remaining will break from the loop. So termination from the loop occurs for break statement. Let's look if we used continue here instead of break. I used continue. What happened? Let's look. We already told when we are using continue only the corresponding statement only stops, remaining will work, like that we told. So if you are using, what happened? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When the value reaches 5, it will be omitted. Remaining 6, 7, 8, 9 all are worked. So this is in the case of continue. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is omitted. When we used break there, what happened? From 5 onwards, value will not print. When we use continue only, in the case of 5, the value is omitted. Remaining value will be printed. So this is continue. Now let's look past statement. Past statement means there is no code to execute, only we have to pass the corresponding statement. Like continue, in continue what we have done, for the corresponding statement it is omitted, remaining will worked. No use of else is needed for continue. In past statement we must use else case. For example, if we run this, if I equal to 5, pass means if the value of I becomes 5, it is passed from this control structure and else part will work. So what happened? Let's look. So output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, like our continue. But the difference is when the value of I equal to 5, when we use continue here, no need of else statement, only print statement is needed outside if it will produce the same output. But if in past statement there will be, we will use else statement. That means if value of I equal to 5, pass means here nothing to execute. So pass means it is omitted, then it will goes to other iteration and the value of I becomes 6, so else part will work. So in this case we have to use the else statement. Once again I will tell the difference. If we use past statement, continue statement, we have can specify like this, continue, then we can write the print statement outside if, because we are not using inside if it is inside if, we have to write there here, so some space have to be needed. So in this case we are not giving any space, that means it is outside if. So if we are running this program, the output will be, for the case of I equal to 5, it is omitted and remaining 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we are using pass, what happened? Here we will change it as pass. Then we have to, if we want to print the statement, we have to use the else statement. Then inside that we will use this print I inside else. So when we are running this, the same output that of continue will get. But pass statement is used to pass. That means it is saying that here there is nothing to execute. You just pass from here. Like that it is saying. So this is path statement. So this is about for loop. Let's look one example of while loop too. In while loop, this is the for loop. In while loop, we have to specify the initial value. So I specified I equal to 1. Then while I less than 10. Less than 10 means up to 9 we want to print. Then we have to use the colon operator. Don't forget it. Then print I, then we have to increment I equal to I plus 1. Otherwise, the loop is known as infinite loop. It will not stop. So when we are running this code, what will be the output? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is the output. Like in our for loop, we will get the output, but we have to initialize the value. So suppose I forgot to write this. Then I told infinite loop will create. How an infinite loop will work? Let's look. Its output will not stop, it will continue. So this output, so actually this is moving, we cannot see that. Output will not stop, it is known as infinite loop, because the value of I becomes 1, condition check 1 less than 10, it is true, then print I. So 1 is printed, again I less than 10, Again 1 less than 10 because we are not using any increment operators. So that's all about the loops. Let's continue with list in the next class. Thank you.